Hello traders and investors, welcome back to the Trend Trader channel. As you know, in the past week we saw some nice earnings coming from companies such as Netflix and Tesla and other companies. In this coming week we're still gonna see a lot of exciting earnings coming from some of the big tech companies. As you can see from the screen, we'll be expecting earnings from companies such as Microsft, Alphabet. You can also see that there's Apple, there's Amazon, there's Meta platforms. So it's really a lot of these great companies that will be coming with earnings these coming weeks. As we know that people claim that there are 7 companies that pushed for a bull market in the US. Majority of those companies will be reporting their earnings this week. So before we start, I would like to ask those who haven't subscribed to please consider subscribing. And if you find value in this video, please make sure that you smash the like button. And as always, if you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section. We like to respond to your comments. So as you know, it's a lot of companies. We won't be able to cover each and every company that is going to be reporting, so we'll be selecting some of the few companies that we are interested in. Either we already have a position in those particular companies, or we saw some exciting price action in the previous weeks, so we are interested in seeing how those companies are going to behave in the upcoming week. So as much as we don't have a lot of interest in SoFi, remember that PayPal, they came out with their result last week. So some people, previously the CEO said that he has some surprise for the market. However, when they came out with their result and their conference call, people were not that interested. We know that SoFi, it's another payment technology company. So as you can see, SoFi has been struggling a lot to break above this $10 level. So depending on whether the company is reducing its losses or it's coming up with a profit, we might expect that the downward movement can continue. Otherwise, we can expect an upward movement. Like I said, we don't have a lot of interest in this particular stock, but it will be interesting to see what will happen. So in the past few weeks, we saw a super micro SMCI. It had an incredible price action, and they haven't even released their earnings. For those that are technical analysis inclined, you will remember that people were looking at this previous high here. So we saw that in the previous 4 weeks there was a nice accumulation of this particular stock. So as things stand, the stock is extended from this key moving average. It is also extended from this breakout level. However, if this company comes with numbers that people are interested in, there's nothing that can stop the share price from pushing further up there. For us, we're not gonna be chasing this particular stock because at this moment it is far away from a level where we will get an ideal low risk entry. So it is one of those companies that just moves too fast and then you can easily miss them. However, like I said, we like the price action, even though we could not participate in the previous runs. So on Monday, those are all the companies that we'll be interested in on Monday. Pfizer, it's been a while since we look at the chart of Pfizer. Remember, some of these pharmaceutical companies, they benefited a lot during the COVID period, but as we can see, Pfizer, it has just been on that downtrend. So depending on what result they're gonna come with, we'll be looking at this 2650 level in here. If the company comes with a decent result, maybe it can bounce up to come and meet this a moving average that is declining. Otherwise, if the news are negative, then we can expect the share price to just break below this 2650. So there's nothing exciting that we are looking for here, except of course if the company does pay dividends. So now looking at the chart of Microsoft, we saw Microsoft last week. It created a new all-time high, so it came back as another $1 trillion company. What we saw in the past, we're looking at this consolidation level. When it broke above this level, then we initiated our long position. But we've been holding Microsoft for a while now, because you can see when it broke above this level, we also took a position there as well. So we have been buying this particular stock. Again, if the company comes up with a positive result, we won't be surprised if the share price continue to push further up there. However the case may be, irrespective of how the result may come in, for those people that are interested in taking a position in Microsoft, it might be worthwhile to wait maybe for a pullback to this breakout level. Then if we see a lower price rejection, then you can initiate a long position in anticipation that the share price is going to continue to move further up there. Remember that we always say, if a stock retests the previous breakout level, if you miss the opportunity to buy at this level, you can always buy it back when it take that recent highs in there. So looking at Microsoft, it can give you a couple of options for you to participate in this stock, but we are already in a position. What we are looking for, we're just looking for a nice price continuation there, with the price moving up. If the results are nice, they're exciting. So again, another tech company, a semiconductor company, it's AMD. We saw Nvidia, it also continued to push further up. You can see that the previous high there around this level has been taken out. That was a level somewhere around $157. You can also see that during that breakout, there was nice above average volume that happened in there. But also keep in mind that the stock is very much extended from the moving average, and it is also a bit stretched away from that previous breakout level. Again, we saw some of these semiconductors, they have different challenges. Some are doing well, some they are thinking that the production is going to slow down a bit, maybe due to the demand of the microchips that they are producing. So we will see what will happen with AMD. And then let's see another company that we have interest in, Alphabet. Of course, we've already commented in our recent video where we spoke about what we're expecting to see from Alphabet. So whenever we look at Alphabet, we are using this share code. We are not using the A class or the C class shares, but most of the time we are using this share code. So just to remind you, those who watched that video, and for those that have missed the video, we mentioned that Alphabet broke above this level, which is that previous high there. So at this moment, Alphabet is trading at a new all-time high. We see that it is being supported by this nice rising moving average, and also we saw that 3 weeks of consolidation. Obviously, we can't predict how those results are going to come, either as positive or as negative. However, we're expecting a positive news from this, and we're also expecting a positive market reaction. So if there's a positive market reaction, without a doubt, we can see Alphabet to continue to push further up there. However, nothing is guaranteed. We have our stop loss just below this breakout level, so that if the price reverses, then we don't lose a lot of money. Remember, we can exit a position because we can always buy back that position if the situation changes. Some people, they don't feel comfortable holding a position into earnings. At this moment, our position is in profit, so we are not worried a bit. So this is one stock that we're not gonna cover. We're just gonna skip, because we know there's a lot of negativity around this company. It's either they are halting the production, or they're just experiencing different kind of challenges from the Boeing, I think it's 737, but it's one of their biggest plane that is experiencing different challenges. So a stock that we're gonna look at is Novo Nordisk. This is another pharmaceutical company that has been doing great for quite some time now. You can see that it broke above this level that was around just before the end of 2022, and it has been trading up there nicely. Obviously, whenever price go up, there will be a period of consolidation before there is another breakout. So that is how this stock has been performing. You can see now in the last 3 weeks or so, there has been a bit of a consolidation, because I think the market participants are waiting for the earnings. So obviously, if the results are positive, then we can see a breakout on the upside. And also keep in mind that this is a European company, so they are going to release the earnings. I just want to check here okay, so you see they are going to release the earnings before market open. That is because the European company is going to release the earnings on its European time. So if the numbers are good, we might see a gap up pre-market. However the case, we are also rooting for the upside, because we like this company. We don't have a position because we've got positions in other companies, but as you can see that the trend is nice, it's strong, it is intact. So we are rooting for the upside on this particular stock. Okay, we spoke about MasterCard previously when we were covering Visa, but just a quick recap. You can see that the stock was also trying to create a new all-time high. As you can see, it's just been consistently moving up there. And then if you look at the recent trading days, this is the level that we were looking at. You can see this is where the breakout happened, and then there was this retest of that breakout before the share price continued to move up. If you look at the result of Visa, you can see that the margins are very high for these payment companies. We also expect MasterCard to have equally high profit margins in there, and if that's the case, then we won't be surprised if MasterCard continue to move up there. So maybe for some investors who are not sure whether to choose a MasterCard or Visa, remember that on TradingView you can always overlay 2 different companies or even more, and then you can look at how those companies have performed. And then so now you see on that orange line, that would be a Visa. So you can see that Visa is leading a MasterCard. So that is a company that you might consider if you are trying to decide what to choose between a Visa and MasterCard. But in this case, we've already seen the result from Visa. We're just waiting to see the result coming from MasterCard. Qualcomm, it's another semiconductor company, so it will be interesting as well how Qualcomm comes up with its result. Remember, for all the semiconductor, not all of them are going to do as well, just as AMD, just as Nvidia is doing. So you can see the price action, it's there. Depending on your trading style, this would have been a nice price ramp up if you were able to take a position from here. And also, there's nothing that can stop this stock from continuing to go up, but it is one of those situations whereby you have to compare this company versus another company, either in the same sector or in the same industry group, and then try to invest in the company that is a leader in that particular industry group. So we're not gonna cover Corteva. It's an agricultural company, or it's a chemical company that has interest in agriculture. For people that love monthly dividends, you can see that there is this Altria. It's one of those companies that is in the tobacco sector. It's not a monthly dividend paying stock, it's a quarterly dividend paying stock within the tobacco industry. So it's been a while since I looked at the chart of this company. So now, just for the sake of interest, we saw with British American Tobacco, it has been struggling. So it's not surprising that the share price of Ultra as well is also just either moving sideways or it's trying to consolidate between these two levels, the $40 and the $50 level there. So the price action from a trader's perspective, it is not exciting. We saw people, they spent a lot of money investing in Peloton, or in fact even investing in the product that Peloton is producing. You can see that after that COVID hype, the stock pretty much it has been dead. So we don't see a lot of positive outcome from this, but remember, the market can always surprise you. One company that we have interest in is Merck. We saw that Merck was also, it was just about to break on a new high. It's already trading at a new high, so this is an exciting price action for us. You can see that Merck is still around that consolidation level, breakout level. So if you are in position already, it's great. However, you need to ensure that you have a stop just below that consolidation level. But if you don't have a position there, if the news they come, they are positive, then the share price is just going to continue to move further up, leaving you behind. We don't have a position, and we will not be chasing this particular stock because we are now already fully invested. But from a technical perspective, it is a setup that we would have very much liked to participate, especially when this breakout happened. And then you can see, if you look at the volume profile, there's just been a nice few weeks of this stock accumulation. So I'm even thinking that maybe the short interest in this particular company, if it's that great and there's a breakout, the people that having a short position, then they will be forced to sell their position or to close their position, and that can help to propel the price further up. We don't have a position, but we're expecting some positive news there. And then obviously we all know Apple, even though the price action, it's there, it's not that exciting, but you know that Apple is one of those stocks that you want to keep closer on your watch list, because anything is possible. So you can see from these previous highs, so even though it's not a perfect consolidation between 180 and just below 200, we saw last week the stock, it attempted to trade back above this high level there around $195 per share. So obviously, depending on how the news are going to come at, so now for us, we have a buy stop order for a close above 196, 197. Again, whenever we take a long position, we like to have a stop loss just below that breakout level. But keep in mind that you're still gonna wait for a while, because the April results are coming on Thursday. So that buy order is just going to chill there, unless if the market participant, they decide that they can push the price further up or they can push it down. But having a buy stop order, it means that if the market eventually does move in the direction that we would like to see, then we won't miss that particular move. We have a position with Amazon. The position is still open. We did not close it. It's a position that we created somewhere around October 2023. As you can see, it was not a lot in terms of risk to reward. That was just slightly under 1:2. However, the price has managed to go past what was our previous target. As you can see, the position is in profit, so we are not that much worried about a pullback. If the numbers they come, they are negative, you might see a pullback coming back around this level of about 140. However, if the numbers are positive, then we can see the share price continue to push further up there. And then if you look at these previous highs, they are around $184 there. So that is our next potential target, especially if Amazon, it comes up with some positive figures in there. So we'll be keeping an eye on the Amazon result, because we do have a position in that particular stock. Again, we have a position on Meta Platforms. We also mentioned that Meta Platforms has a similar price action with Alphabet. You can see that the stock broke above this level. There's been a nice 4-week consolidation there. It is trading above a rising moving average. If you think that at that low, which was around $90, the stock is up by over 300%. However, it's not always going to be possible that you're going to pick the absolute bottom. It wouldn't matter where you bought the company. The company had a great year in 2023, and we would like to continue. We would like to see that momentum continues in 2024. So yes, we have an interest in Meta Platforms, and we will be keeping an eye in there. As things stand, well, you can still buy the stock and have a stop loss just below that breakout level. But like I said, with earnings, anything is possible. Even positive numbers can be interpreted as negative by the market. So that is something that you should always keep in mind. In terms of energy stocks like ExxonMobil and Chevron, we're not expecting that much action, but we have a bit of an interest in the pharmaceutical company, although we are not expecting a lot of exciting news. But we can just look from a chart perspective and then try to formulate and see an idea where the stock might go. So you can see this is this highs that the stock so far it has been finding a resistance, but the absolute high is somewhere around just above, maybe it's about $175 per share. So obviously positive news are more likely to push the share price at least to reach this level. However, if the company fails to come with positive news, then we won't be surprised to see a pullback to somewhere around $150 per share. We don't have a position on Abbvie, but we'll be keeping an eye on this particular stock as well. So I think for this particular video, we've already said a mouthful. As you can see, there are a lot of companies that will be reporting their result, but we are more interested in the companies that are in the technology sector, either semiconductor companies, especially the companies that led the market in 2023. But obviously this video it's not covering everything. There are still good companies. There are companies that pay dividends for those people that are much more interested in dividends. So you can see there is Starbucks. We did not cover Starbucks. There's Starbucks there. There is Herscope. Herscope is in the energy sector. It's also one of those companies that pays a dividend for a long time. Honeywell as a business, it is doing well. We did not see the price action. There is United States Steels, there is Deca brand. I think we should look at the chart of Deca because we've been seeing that chart on our Twitter. We still call it Twitter, even though now it's X platform. So now the stock that we wanted to look at was Deca. Like I said, in terms of price action, we're seeing that it had an interesting price action. So you can see the stock, it came around this level around August 2023. Then there was a pullback to this moving average. Remember that an indicator is a lagging indicator. Now with the hindsight, it looks as if the stock did find a nice perfect support there, but when everything was happening around that time, it did not create this beautiful support as you can see here. However, what we saw that when the stock took out that recent high at the time of about 560, it came with a nice above average volume, and it has managed to trade above this level nicely then. So another thing to keep in mind is that you can see that it has just been moving up with a nice big green candles as it was moving up, and whenever it had a pullback, this is something that looks like an inside day, and then it had these three candles that were pulling back. But as you can see, it was not just a big bearish candles, something that we'll consider to be a big bearish candle. It's something like this with the full body that is covering between the difference between the opening and the closing price. But you can see here people or traders quickly supported the stock. Maybe they were expecting that after breaking above this level, it formed a classic break and retest before it continued with the price moving up there. So we like the price action from Deca Outdoor, even though we don't have a position. So it will be an interesting week to see how all these companies are going to perform, and then depending on how the market reacts to the news, like we did with the previous earnings report, then we will come back and cover some price action of certain companies, especially the companies that would have received some positive reaction from the market. So that's it for today. I hope that you did enjoy this video. If you did and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, and also please make sure that you smash the like button. We will see you in the next video.